We
this
didn't do
week.
any. There was no oversharing except for my bubble guts and your period. We actually overshared a substantial amount. We talked about your uterus at length. Well, hello. Welcome, everybody, to Oversteer and Overshare podcast, episode 10, I think. I don't remember. We are making some improvements. We got a better camera for wife. We got her background showing. It's no longer blurred now, which is exciting. I'm going to edit this a little better so that it looks better on YouTube as well. But what's up, wife? How you feeling after this wonderful race weekend?
He's saying these are improvements because we just had a domestic about it for 10 minutes before we started this.
Domestic's a strong word.
Because he wanted me to do something that I didn't want to do.
Yeah. Well.
And I did the things I didn't want to do.
That was what marrying me signed you up for. Some
Lucky
would say marrying me was something you didn't want to do.
Lucky me.
I think you wanted to marry me. I'm not entirely sure. How are you feeling after this? After the Australian GP weekend?
Well, it's a season opener.
Yeah.
So.
And we're gonna cover. I think we're gonna go in order of F3, F2, F1 because you watched more or less all the feeder series this weekend. So just give me a general overview.
Well, you're in charge of the podcast, so you're being really vague about the information you want me to share while also telling me there's an order we're doing things.
Mm-hmm.
You told me you're in charge of the podcast.
Yeah, I asked you a direct question and gave you the parameters to answer the question.
Generally, I feel meh about the weekend.
Okay. Yeah, could have given me so much more there. Anyway.
You told me we're going in an order, but you also just asked a general question.
This is crazy. It's like interviewing a log. All right, I guess we'll skip straight to F3 because there's no ability for you to be flexible and
expand later. But then also every time I've led the podcast and been in charge of expanding the podcast, you repeat so much. Yep. You're just repeating the same thing. So I'm avoiding doing that by letting you guide the conversation.
Y'all can see that our domestic is ongoing, apparently.
It's still happening.
I didn't even think we had a domestic, and apparently we did, and we're still in it. So anyway, how you feeling after the Australian GP weekend, other than me?
You're going to ask the exact same question?
Yeah, because you gave a terrible answer.
It's the same question.
Mm-hmm.
The weekend was meh. It was late. It wasn't as late as Australia usually is, so that's correct. Is like some benefit.
And not as late as China's about to be.
China is about to be really late. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it was like a lot happened, but also like not a lot happened. So it was just a very meh weekend.
It was a lot to digest also with like how we feel about the new rules and that kind of shit.
And they were confusing because you're like, what the fuck is boost mode and what is like overtake? And then they have to like charge the batteries on the start and
no one knows. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. That was a better answer. Thank you for that. So let's start with F3.
In charge of leading this again.
Do you want to be in charge of leading the podcast again?
No, I don't.
Then quit complaining. The second that you said I was in charge, I knew that you would just complain every episode about how it was going, no matter how good I was doing at it. So
you said you were in charge.
And?
Do you hear that like wave outside of our house?
Wave? What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm being quiet to listen to it. I thought you would also be quiet to listen to it.
This is the worst possible way to record a podcast I've ever heard. For you to stop and go, let me listen for something outside.
I can hear more in my office than I can in the basement.
What does a wave even mean?
I don't know. It's like a woo, like a wave.
Fascinating. I'm gonna
whatever. F3. How F3?
Insane. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so you watched the feeder series this week for the most part. I think you paid attention to some races more than others, but you were at least around all three races.
Were on at like reasonable times. Usually they're not on at reasonable times, so I won't watch them.
Yeah, they're very good like undercard for the race. I think it's a good like warm up, for watching the race. So F3 Sprint didn't have a lot of running. It did have that spectacular crash. Well, let me back up. That was your first F3 race, I think, watching. What were your thoughts on the F3?
No, that wasn't my first one, but I definitely don't watch them. I don't even feel like we really watched that one.
Well, the sprint race only had a few laps for red flag. The feature we watched.
We just looked for the crash pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know that we should be calling crashes spectacular.
That was a spectacular crash. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know that that's the verbiage we should be using.
Okay. What verbiage would you use? That's what the announcers use.
There's a crash. I feel like what's the definition of spectacular?
And everybody, it's a spectacle, which it was, and everybody walked away fine. We need to get you a steak, don't we? You're frozen. You're frozen. We got to work on your internet also upstairs.
You froze.
I'm hardwired. It can't be my internet. It's your internet.
On my side.
Because your internet gave out.
Something is very impressive, dramatic, or visually striking, often causing wonder or admiration.
And that's not perfectly describing a crazy wreck.
Well, no, because when you hear wonder or admiration, like those are very positive emotions. I would not say a crash is a positive emotion.
Do we need to get you a steak?
Yeah, I fucking wanted one today. Someone was like, "We can't have a steak every Tuesday." And I was like, "I only had a steak last month, exactly a month ago, because it was the last time I was on my period." So I don't know why you're saying it's every week.
We need a disagreement counter on stream. Like some people will do like a rec counter or whatever. We need every time I say something that you just doesn't matter what I even said. You're just like, no, I need to go click counter.
I wonder if people are gonna watch this and like, oh, Kenny's on her period.
They are. I mean, it's explicitly said now. Yeah, it's
every fourth episode. She's a real asshole.
It's explicitly said now. Oh, I haven't started editing yet, but I am gonna fucking ruin you in this edit. Oh no, the clip button broken.
Which I'm sure we'll get to at some point. I don't remember who crashed in F3, but I do remember that
F2 crash was hilarious. Yeah, so we'll come back to that. I got the clip button working. It was my fault. That is the one thing you can say is my fault today.
Who crashed in F3? What was that crash?
The two Prima drivers. 2 of the 3 Prima drivers. And then in the feature race, neither one of them participated because the medical team said not to. They're fine. The medical team said to wait. And then the third one went in the gravel. So Prima and F3 had a bad weekend. And I don't remember much else. I don't remember it being overly spectacular. I think Ugo did well. Ugo Utrikwo.
Who crashed in F2? I'm wondering if I'm mixing up the 2 crashes.
We'll get to F2, but it was Dunne and his teammate.
Did F3 have the funny radio messages when they crashed?
No. I know what you're getting at. It's an F2.
Are the Prima cars red?
Yes.
Okay. I clearly watched the F3 race, you guys. He said I watched the feeder series and he lied to your face because I don't remember anything that happened.
Anyway, Freddie Slater did well. Ugo Chukwu did well. I don't remember much of the feature race. F2 or the F3 sprint race was stopped early because of the red flag, because of the crazy spectacular wreck. Anything else for F3? You kept commenting on how many cars there are, because there are a fuck ton.
There are a lot of cars.
There's 30 cars.
Shit ton of cars.
Yeah, there's 30 cars in F3. If y'all didn't know. So in F1, it's obviously 11 teams now, 2 cars each. F2 is the same way, so 22 cars. F3 is 10 teams, 3 cars each, so it's 30 cars, and it looks like 30 cars. Like, you can definitely tell there's a fuck ton of them. They have some really funny moments in qualifying sometimes.
I wonder if there's like at some point the FIA is like having X many cars is significantly more dangerous. Like, is this like I mean, obviously we look poor as fuck with my broken light. I'm just lazy to replace it. Replacing a light bulb is a blue job, and I do pink jobs exclusively.
Hold on. First of all, I think your ADHD is made worse by your period. Second of all, it went out as we started recording this. Like, don't make it sound like I haven't got around to replacing it. It went out as we were setting everything up.
It's a blue job. You gotta be up here fixing my light.
Fascinating. I don't even care about this podcast anymore. So anyway, moving on. Jesus fucking Christ. Moving on to F2. Do you want to disagree with anything I have said yet?
No.
Moving
I
on
do
down.
think my ADHD is worse when I'm on my period.
Apparently, I've never put that connection together until tonight, but yeah, apparently, which does make sense based on how you were playing Minecraft earlier. This bitch started a new Minecraft. We have a combined realm that she has stopped playing in because I never played in it to begin with. So she put a lot. She got to 300 days like pretty much by herself in it, and I'm at 300 days in my own world. And so she started a new world today, and then she just dove headfirst into a cave with didn't even have a torch, no torches at all. Got lost as fuck. I got her out, but yeah, she just went spelunking. Just literally jumped into the caves and the caves and cliffs updates. They're huge. Not a single torch. Got lost as fuck, as one does. And
One stone pickaxe
yeah,
and one wooden
one
pickaxe.
stone pickaxe, one wooden, no extra material at all. She started the world and found a place to put her base and then leapt into a hole. Apparently your ADHD is worse in fucking when you're
I know, I think so too, actually.
someone
As
should Google that.
conversations. Yeah.
Does
Chat.
do periods cause ADHD?
Symptoms to worsen. I was
Fucking
useless today all day at work. I hope my manager doesn't watch this, but I was pretty useless today at work.
fucking all the men that have never been with a woman be like, that makes so much more sense. I know they're crazy on their period. Anyway, what the fuck are we even talking about? I don't even know. F2. Jesus Christ. Okay, so we watched F2 this weekend, and Colton Herta.
We're gonna accidentally get to an hour and a half in this podcast.
Already at 19 minutes.
And it's gonna be like 55 minutes of me just getting us off.
Just confused and disagreeing. That's what you do, is you're just like, no, I don't think that's it. So you literally, I was talking and you're like, we look so poor because one light bulb's out, which by the way, no one can tell. It looks the same. No one can tell.
You can't tell my light gets darker and then brighter.
Okay, so the light bulb's not out then.
Not right now.
Does it keep coming back?
It's done it a few times on this video.
So that's not a light bulb being out. That's a larger like electrical problem that we have to call an electrician for.
Oh, well now we're real fucking poor looking.
Yeah, that's not, light bulbs are either working or not.
Anyway, F2.
I don't even care about F2. I don't even can't deal with you.
So Dunne.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us about F2.
Dunne and the other Prima driver
His
crashed
teammate. I don't remember. Dunne's not a Prima driver. His teammate. I don't remember.
Alpine Reserve.
Yeah, but he's not a Prima driver. I think he's.
Who does he drive for? Invicta?
I don't know all the F2 teams very well, if I'm honest.
Okay, so Alex Dunne was on he was a McLaren development driver last season, and then got axed because of, I don't know what he did, but he's axed.
Giant douchebag on track. It's basically.
I was gonna say he is a douchebag on track. Which was proven this weekend when he crashed into his teammate. It was 100% his fault because his teammate gave him room and he just went back over and hit him. And then they both went into the wall.
He basically brake checked him. So he covered off going into the corner and then broke early, causing the teammate to run to the back of him. Oh, I now see the light bulb.
Yeah. Okay. And then they both went into the wall.
What demon have you summoned with your fucking uterus up there? What the fuck is going on?
And then they both went into the wall.
This is this is extra worrisome because the other day I was replacing the batteries in a smoke detector, and the wiring in the fixture that smoke detector was attached to, which is not connected to anything because it's just wiring. I put the smoke detector back on, and the light down the hallway turned on. So I'm kind of concerned about our house wiring now.
You trade off one light for the other. You fixed that one, but then mine's broken now.
Well, no, that one quit working also.
Okay. Well,
so we have 3 light fixtures that don't work.
Dude, are you catching my period and my ADHD? Because I keep trying to talk about this F2 crash.
Because now I'm just mad the house has an issue that we got to deal with.
Okay. Alex and his teammate. Who is his teammate?
I don't know.
We don't know. They crashed in, and the radio messages were really funny.
Before Alex finished sliding into the gravel, he came on the radio and he was like, he'll never finish in front of me ever again.
Yeah, that's crazy to say
when
about
it's your fault.
like, that is such an outlandish thing to say, and then the other guy gets on the radio and he's like, "He just drove
Yeah,
into
what
me,
a
like, what
fucking
the fuck
idiot.
is he doing?"
Which, and it
And
makes
the
me
engineer
wonder.
responded and is like, "Yeah, I don't know." Like, it was the team agreed it was Alex's fault.
It makes me wonder if there's got to be like a pre-existing beef there between Alex Dunn and his teammate. Like that's not something you say on race one. You know what I mean? Like I wonder what the backstory is between. I believe Alex Dunn's at fault. I think he's a giant douche, but
I think Alex is just like that though. Like I feel like I remember hearing something last season about him getting on the radio and cussing all the time. And he was like, I don't know, because they're all children. He was like 16 or something. And people were like, "Oh, it's so funny to hear a kid cuss."
So that happened in one of the races. I don't remember if that was the sprint or the feature. I never can keep them separate, but that was something
That
that was
being
big that happened.
said, we both agreed that Flavio already has this kid's contract drafted for the second half of the season to replace
Yeah,
Franco.
he showed Franco the footage. He's like,
Yeah.
this is how I want you to defend. Death or defend or death. That was something that was interesting. I don't know if we covered this. How'd you feel just in general watching the F2? Did you find it entertaining? Did you enjoy it? How'd you feel watching the F2 race?
I don't know. It's the same way I felt last season because, like, I know you really want me to get into these feeder series, and I would be totally cool if we went to like like a European race that had F2 or F3 because I do think they're more fun. Because there's so many cars. Like the F1 Academy races we've seen, they've been okay. Like the Vegas one was fun because
And there's
there was rain
16,
and
I think, in F1 Academy. There's 16 cars.
yeah, but there's significantly less drivers. Like, I don't know how fast the F2 or F3 cars go in comparison to the F1 Academy cars, but like the F1 Academy cars do go pretty slow. Um,
Which is weird because
and
you can see it. Like, you don't really realize, you don't know that you can see the speed difference in race cars until you see the speed difference in race cars. You see F1 cars go by and you see an F1 Academy go by. You're like, that thing is fucking crawling.
but like also F2 and F3 has teenage boys driving. F1 Academy has teenage girls driving. And there is definitely a difference in how you drive. And I mean that as like boys are fucking reckless. Like boys don't have this like self-preservation that girls do. The girls are not going to be going and lunging and causing crashes like that, like the guys are. Um,
I don't know,
so
man. I've
like,
seen a lot of crashes in F1 Academy races.
yeah, but it's never been like
Those races
a
are safety
spectacle.
car races.
Okay, that's true. Last year, China for F1 Academy was like, I think both races, we were like, holy crap, there was like
Because you were going to
4
get
laps
in.
of racing total.
You were gonna get into F1 Academy last year in anticipation of us seeing it in Vegas, and you
Yeah.
watched China, and you were like, "Fuck, this kind of sucks to watch." Like
This was like 4 laps of racing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was one of the first ones to start watch. I love supporting women in motorsport. I try and follow their
It's like,
careers.
what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I do. I enjoy supporting the females in motorsport. We took a fucking picture with one of them, in the we saw
I
it to
did
him.
not.
I did because you don't support women in motorsport anyway. But like, I gotta be honest, it's tough to watch the F1 Academy races because they do just crash a lot. Like, and it's not because they're women; it's because they're inexperienced. And I don't think that's really. I've talked about this
Yeah,
a lot.
none of them have done single seaters before. That seems like the biggest key point that no one focuses on is that is
Yeah,
like entry level single seater. Like the F3 and F2 drivers have been doing single seater. Those girls, that's their first time getting in a single seater.
correct. Yeah, because everybody thinks that like just because on the F1 TV app it goes F1, F2, F3. Excuse me, F1 Academy. That's like the next. That's the next step, right? But it's not. They would leave F1 Academy and go do another couple of championships somewhere else and then go to F3. So it just, I'm not talking shit about the quality of the female drivers. They just don't have any experience and they're on a world stage on an F1 weekend. So like I get it. But to be fair, the racing does kind of suck to watch sometimes. It's a lot of safety car.
So I think the racing in F2 is more fun than like an F1 Academy, but also it's really hard to get into F2 because the teams don't match up with the liveries and like there's so many cars and you have no idea which fucking car is which. Like it's hard to follow.
It's a very vibes race. You're just kind of watching for the vibes.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I don't think I could get into it for that reason alone. I would never be able to track who I'm cheering for.
Yeah, but you are watching a feeder series this year. No,
LMP4.
that's a class of car, not, and it's also not a class of car because it doesn't exist.
GMP4.
Le Mans Cup,
GMP3.
Le Mans Cup,
Le Mans Cup.
Le Mans Cup.
I'll get it about halfway through the season, Maxwell.
Yeah, Maxwell drives an LMP3, or will be driving an LMP3, in Le Mans Cup, and you said you would be watching that series.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I don't think I've told her yet. Those are 4-hour races, though.
I like the endurance races. I like WEC better than IMSA, though. I don't know what it is about the WEC.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah. Like, he's always puts on, like, the Nuremberg 24 or, like, Le Mans, and he'll, like, will dip in and out, and it'll be, like, 3 hours in, and I'm still in front of the couch watching the race.
Mm-hmm. No, by the way, it's Nürburgring 24. Nuremberg is what's going to happen in about 2-3 years, and what happened in, like, 1946. But regardless, Nürburgring 24. We should switch gears a little bit, no pun intended. Max is confirmed to be driving that this year. How exciting is that?
With a Mercedes, right?
Mm-hmm. With a Mercedes. He was testing this week.
That's pretty exciting. Is he a part of a team, or, like, he's got a teammate? I don't know how that works.
Team Verstappen. Or Verstappen.com. It's his team. He owns the GT3
Team Redline? Or is that just his Twitch thing?
Team Redline is a sim racing organization that he does not own. He's just part of. Yeah, I was corrected vehemently about that in one of my videos.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah, it's not Max's. Max is just part of the team. I would argue no one would know them without Max, and I would argue that successfully because it's the truth. But the GT3 team is his team. I think it's Verstappen.com is the name of the team. But that's his actual. He owns that car, and he owns the car and puts sim racers in it. So he specifically is like searching out sim racer talent to drive in his GT3 team.
So if you get really good, you can drive in his GT3 team?
If I get really good, there's no scenario on this earth that I get good enough at sim racing to drive a Mazda Miata. Like I was actually thinking about that today, because I was thinking everybody always comments on my videos of like, why don't you just drive a real car? First of all, because you got to leave the house and you got to deal with insurance and tires and track fees, and you could wreck, hurt yourself. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. And so I was thinking today, I was like, if by some miracle I was approached by a local, they're like, we want you to run our fucking dirt car or whatever, or a Mazda Miata, some cheap ass thing, I still don't know if I would do it. Like, I don't know if I would want to even attempt that. I probably would say yes, and it probably would be a disaster. And I'd probably be glad I did it. But it doesn't. Yeah, ain't no way my fat ass is getting a GT3 car with Max Verstappen for 24 hours at the Nürburgring.
Oh, that's right. That reminded me they switched around the calendar for Max, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And their next event it might be the Nürburgring 24 actually, because the first event was the Bathurst 12, which you watched part of. That was the Australia race with the mountain. Yeah,
sure. Okay.
Clearly remembers a lot. Anyway, so for F2, the other thing I have written down is the Mechanic Diva. You remember the Mechanic Diva Mechanic?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he put that tire on and he was like he had deep squat, hips open, and everything. Like, he had the Kim K pose going. That was it. I just want to talk about that real quick. The other thing is, I didn't know this, and I don't know if he may have always been in the championship. I don't know. But Verone is a WEC champion and Le Mans winner in GT3 cars. And so he was in F2 this weekend. He very well could have been there. I think he actually was there before. If I remember correctly, I think he was on the grid last year. But I just think it's cool because it shows, usually there's no like cross-pollination between endurance racing and single-seater. Like, they'll go from the formula cars and they'll kind of age out and they'll go to wherever they can find a seat, whether that's IndyCar or endurance racing or whatever. But this person went from endurance racing to F2, and I think that's pretty cool. They were leading the race for a little bit. They did not win, but they were leading the race for a while, which is exciting.
Did we talk about Colton Herta?
No, that's my next thing. Yeah, Colton Herta. What do you got to say about Colton Herta?
Well, I was just gonna say that, like, if the internet thinks that you rage bait them with your inaccurate misinformation posts, you rage bait me a lot more. So
No, I don't. No, I thought you were going to say that I do, because I did on accident rage bait everybody this week. That came out today. I didn't even try to stop it.
I know I did see it come out, and I was
Yeah.
like, I should comment on this and say, like, but
for reference, I made, and I'm assuming that everybody watching this knows who I am in some way, not because I like have that big of an ego, but I don't think anyone's finding this podcast outside of that.
I hope
But
people are finding it purely because of me. I hope they see a female on the thumbnail and they're like, click, who the fuck is that guy?
There's probably a couple. I can check the analytics. But anyway, so I have made content, sim racing and racing content for years. And I'm fairly successful at it. And so I post, I every Saturday I set all my videos to post for the week. And on Saturday on Friday I recorded a video just while I was live streaming that Colton Herta was having a rough weekend because he qualified.
Which he does all the time, by the way. His viewers will be like, way to just fucking softball launch this into,
they'll say in the chat like, hello YouTube. They know I apparently switch voices. They know when I'm recording some. So Colton Herta qualified 14th. And I took a little bit of a gamble that he was going to not do well in the race, because I think we'd also watched the sprint race at that point, and he didn't do well in the sprint race. And so I said in the video, like, he's not having a good weekend. He qualified P14, yada, yada, yada. Tough weekend, right? And then he goes on to finish like 8th or something. I don't know, 9th. He gets points. Yeah, Oh, 7th. I have it written down. He finished 7th, which is a phenomenal result on your second race ever, your first race weekend in F2.
Yeah.
Did phenomenally. Well, the video was already set to come out, and we were watching the race, and I said to her, I was like, I'm just gonna let it come out. I'm just gonna let it come out, and that'll be easy engagement when everybody tells me I'm wrong in the comments. And so I have been accused of intentionally posting bad takes in the past to rage bait people. And while I've never done that, I did accidentally.
And wow, it does seem like I am purposely rage baiting people based off of the story I just told.
I did kind of accidentally do that, but luckily that video didn't do well, so no one saw it. So it didn't matter. It's all happy.
It's gonna blow up like tomorrow, and people are gonna be like, "What the fuck? Did you even watch the race? You have no idea what you're talking about."
I know, and it's funny because sometimes I know when I have a bad take, and like I sometimes I know, not when I have a bad take. Sometimes I know when a video is gonna go out that it's going to upset people. For example, I made a video saying that Lewis was mathematically the GOAT, and that's an unarguable fact. But in it, I said that Max, I think, is better and more talented and faster, right? And a lot of people got upset about the Lewis thing. One person got upset that I said Max was faster. And I was like, I can't, you can't win.
I don't think that take is wrong. I think a lot of your opinions are wrong. I don't think that's one of them.
No, Lewis is unarguably, unequivocally, mathematically the GOAT. Like, that's not up for debate. He simply is. The debate that I can have, if someone will do the math for me, is that since Schumacher had 7 titles, right, but the seasons were shorter, does his win percentage, because that's what sets Lewis apart, right? He has the same number of titles, but he has more wins, more pole positions, more whatever. So if you extended out the season for Michael, would he have a comparable number of wins and shit? That's an argument I would have. I would be open to that. But until someone shows me that math, Lewis is unequivocally the GOAT, and that's not something I'll debate. A lot of people, I think, can be more talented, but he holds
like,
every
I think
record
Max is more talented than Lewis.
Yeah, I think most people think that. Most people should. If you're still a Lewis fanboy that doesn't believe that in 2026, you're wrong. Max is better. In 2021, was he better? Up for debate, right? He was growing in his career. He was learning. He raced like a dickhead in 2021. I don't disagree with any of that. Nowadays, I think we can fairly say that Max has eclipsed Lewis in talent.
Is that a good segue into the F1 race?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Because Lewis did really phenomenally this weekend.
Lewis looked really racy for the first time in a long time. He was, I'm sorry, continue.
Ferrari has a good car, which, fuck Ferrari.
Maybe not the best car, but a good car.
As a Carlos fan, fuck Ferrari. They have a good car. They don't have a Mercedes level car. They have a really good car.
But they very well could have a Mercedes level car when Mercedes has to change their engine.
I think Ferrari right now could have a Mercedes level car if their drivers fucking put their elbows out and told the team what to do. Like, the Ferrari never ceases to amaze me. Every time they're so close. They're so close. They can taste, like, Lewis could have had a podium. Lewis could have won the race. Charles could have won the race. Like, it was their race to lose and they fucking lost it. Because
I don't know
amount
if it was
of
their
time
race to lose, but they did lose it through a strategy call. I also should explain that she is because one time Carlos Sainz said no to the team and said, I'm doing something different.
No,
She's
Carlos
convinced that the only way, I'm trying to keep this under 90 seconds so I can get a clip out of it. She thinks the only way for Ferrari drivers to do well is if they just ignore the team and just drive into the pit lane hoping there's tires ready for them and a team in the pit lane, which is not at all how the sport works, and you can't do that. You have to listen to the team direction.
No, you're the fucking driver, though. It can work that way. You go, I'm coming into the pit, get my tires ready, and you pull that bitch into the pit lane, and they're gonna fucking hustle, and they're gonna put new tires on your car.
Do y'all see why I do everything she says?
I don't know. It's not that hard. It's, like, so frustrating, because, like, Lewis and Carlos had the same engineer. They got rid of Ricky.
Now they don't. They did last year.
They did. Last season was Lewis's first season with Ferrari. Carlos had Ricky. Lewis had Ricky. Carlos used to go, I'm doing this. Yeah, I mean, Ricky was clearly not a good engineer. Like, Carlos fought with him. Lewis fought with him. It was clearly Ricky was the problem.
When I catch you, Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky. Before you get any further than this, you know that Ricky doesn't call the strategy, right?
He was still the fucking problem with both drivers. Do you remember last season when Lewis was like, are you mad at me?
No, T for time. You say they fixed the problem. They got rid of him. They still had a fucking bad strategy call this weekend.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm not saying Ricky was the sole issue with their strategy. Ferrari likes to shoot themselves in the foot. Like, Ricky wasn't the problem with their strategy.
Well, Ricky doesn't have... I'm trying to get you. Ricky doesn't have anything to do with strategy. Ricky just
But I'm saying, like, the communication between the drivers.
Yeah.
It was bad communication.
That is true.
Like, Carlos would tell Ricky what he needed done. He would say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to come in this lap. Like, Carlos really took, and he's the most the most recent successful Ferrari driver.
And that worked out how well for his career?
Yeah, I know. Fuck Ferrari.
Now that you got that out of the way, anything else to say about the race weekend?
There's a fuck ton to talk about the race. Are you just wanting to move on?
No, I just wanted to get you off that particular subject.
Let's see. Charles did pretty well. Williams sucked. Both of them had power engine issues pre-race, like both of them. So that's sucked ass.
Who were the back markers that finished in the points? Haas was like 7th, weren't they? Haas, Alpine was up there. And Audi got a point. Was there another point scorer?
I mean, Racing Bulls.
Racing Bulls, that's what it was. It was Haas, Alpine, Racing Bulls, and then Audi got a point, which I think we're not giving near enough credit to Audi. I think Audi had an incredible weekend to get a point on debut like that, because I know it is a new team. It's not a new team, right? I understand that, but it is a new engine that they built themselves. They're an engine supplier for themselves. It was their first entry into F1.
Audi did also bring in, like, their own team. Like, they didn't carry over. So, like, it is a new team.
And they got points on debut. I mean, that's an incredible result. Like, I'm surprised more people aren't talking about it. Good for them. And it was Gabby that got the points too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Racing Bulls, we can talk about how phenomenally Arvid did. Like, shocked. Well, I mean, Racing Bulls in general, I was shocked. I had zero expectations for Arvid Lindblad. He's the only rookie on the grid this year. He did phenomenally.
He's finally the only rookie because they quit calling Liam Lawson a rookie after his 4th year.
I know. I don't know why we kept including him in the rookies. Arvid did phenomenally. I didn't watch him in F2 or F3, but he did so well. I was like shocked.
He's a good example of how who makes it to F1 doesn't really make any sense. Because, like, I'm sure that the Arvids and the Kimmies and all the Ollies, right? I'm sure that people in the racing world understand why they made it. But if you're just watching F2 and F3, like Ollie finished
Arvid
sixth.
finished sixth. Yeah.
Ollie finished sixth. I don't. Arvid I think was less than that. Arvid
No, I
only.
thought it said Arvid finished sixth last year.
I don't think so. Oh, last year, because Ollie was in F1 last year. I was talking about Ollie's last F2 season. My apologies. But Arvid, like, he basically what started the conversation with him is he won a race in Silverstone, is essentially it. And it was a challenging race. If I remember correctly, it was like a mixed conditions, classic Silverstone kind of race, and he had to fight a bunch of people to get it. But, like, he was not consistently winning races or consistently even on the podium, but he was noticed. He's a Red Bull Junior. A Red Bull spot opened up. Like, it's the more I watch the feeder series, the more I understand that it's just there's so many factors that go into who makes it to F1, and some of it's just bad luck that don't.
I mean, like who? Frederick Vesti. They showed him over the weekend when Kimi crashed. Immediate, like the F1. Do you know what I'm talking about?
In
Kimi
FP,
crashed in one of the
FP3, yeah.
free practices, and they panned over to Frederick Vesti like immediately.
Crazy to start that race one of the season when no one has said anything about Kimi losing his seat. Like, that made sense when it was the whole, Daniel and Liam and all the various reserves that Red Bull has. But Kimi crashed in one practice session in one race, and they hit the fucking pan to the reserve driver. How dare they? How dare they? The audacity. But yeah,
Lewis has got Kimi's next 15 years pathed out. Like, there's no shot Toto's getting rid of Kimi like that.
No, completely. The ones, I mean, none of the last the last 3 or 4 F2 champions haven't got a seat in F1. Not even like a drive, like a weekend tryout drive. Like, none of the.
Well, the problem is that those champions are Aston Martin and Alpine reserve drivers.
Well, Leo Fornaroli was nobody, if I remember correctly. Teo was Sauber, which is now Audi. Vesti was not champion, but he very well could have been. And he was Mercedes. And Fred Drugovich is an Aston Martin, which I think. How long do we think Alonso's got left in him with this piece of shit car?
You don't know, because like that car really sucked ass.
It really sucks.
Having Adrian Newey, I mean, like, obviously this is my first time with new regs. Everyone goes, you have no idea what the cars are going to look like. Like, no one knows if they're going to get it right. I think we all had a lot of faith Adrian Newey was going to get it right.
A lot of faith.
A lot of faith. And that clearly didn't work out.
To be fair, I do think at least the communication from the team is that's mostly on the Honda side of things, not necessarily the car itself.
And I'd be saying that too if I spent $50+ million on this guy to design my car and it wasn't working out.
He's the team principal.
I'd also say it was the engine supplier's fault.
Yeah, Honda's not having a good because Honda had success with Red Bull, but they shuttered their program when Red Bull started making their own engines. And so it's basically a new engine program also for Honda.
Man, I just like Fernando's 44 years old. Why would you? I mean, for one, he's at the high end of an F1 driver. Their careers are not a long career, and he's definitely getting old. Like that tears at your body. He's getting old, and the car's fighting him the whole fucking time. He's gonna have carpal tunnel by race 3.
I can foresee him just quitting like halfway through the year. Just like, fuck it. Fill my seat. I don't even care. Pay me out. I've been doing this for 20 years. I have the money to break my contract. I can absolutely see him quitting at the end of the year because there's no future. His contract's uncertain. I can't remember if it was a 1+1, like if he gets an option to do next year or if his contract ends this year. But either way, I don't foresee him racing past this year.
Who is the reserve driver?
I think it's still Felipe.
Okay.
My guts are rumbling. I got the rumbly tummies. We're short for this world. Brings me to a good
We
point.
ate a chicken sandwich for dinner and tater tots. There's not a thing that should have hurt your stomach.
And I had a salad and roast or corned beef for lunch. That's it. I got tummy issues. I don't know what to tell you. As you said earlier, this was your first year with a new engine formula. Engine formula is very exciting, right? Because like some engines are better than others. It's not homologated. What'd you think?
Like I said, I felt really meh about the weekend because like it is fun with engine failures. Like it sucks ass. I hated being like, oh, Carlos's car died. Oh, Alex's car died. Like it sucks ass. Um,
Isaac's car died.
Isaac's car died. Like
Oscar's car tried to kill him.
Max's car, like yeah, it's fun because you don't know what's going to happen. It could be anyone. Like it is not a skill issue. It is just randomly, and that sucks. Actually, no, that's fun. I said that sucks, but it's fun because I like the thrill like
Just
that.
talked yourself into it.
Yeah, what sucks is when Mercedes is like, 20 seconds ahead. Like I really enjoyed the first year I watched, which was 2023, and that was Max dominance. And Max was finishing like 25 seconds ahead of people, and I was having fun. I don't know how I was having fun because we were watching this, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that Mercedes is so fucking fast. Like, what? I'm pulling out my phone. It's first race of the season.
That's kind of the dichotomy of it is like in order for the racing to be better, right? The cars need to be closer together. But a big part of F1 is like ingenuity and the engineering side of things and figuring out solutions to things. And so like that's always the balance they're trying to strike between you don't want to be a spec series, you also want to encourage, innovation. And so like the more innovation you encourage, the more that one team can figure it out compared to everybody else. And that's what we seem to have this year with Mercedes. But they'll have to change it halfway through, and they're probably going to lose 2 races from the early part of the season because of the war going on. No one knows yet, but I find it very unlikely that they race in Saudi Arabia or Bahrain.
Well, Kimmy and Isaac apparently spilled the beans on their flight to Singapore and did announce accidentally that the 2 races in the Middle East are canceled.
Which is so funny because that means
shit to each other.
It means they were flying like commercial.
They were, yeah, they were flying commercial. Some fan saw them and overheard them saying, and basically Isaac told Kimmy, well, that's 2 fewer races for you to, or no, Kimmy told Isaac that's 2 fewer races for you to lose.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, right? I don't know. And the war could be wrapped up fucking tomorrow. I mean, it's not going to be, but it could be. It's a forever war. Anyway, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. I forgot what it was.
Oscar crashed at his home race.
Oscar crashed his home race. It's a real bummer. And I haven't seen. I'm hearing conflicting reports on if it was his fault or not. Some people are saying that it was his fault. Some people are saying that the car delivered more power than expected, which is still kind of his fault. I don't know.
I'm also hearing conflicting because when I saw Discord, when I turned on the race, I didn't see him crash, but I turned on the race and they were like, Oscar's out. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean Oscar's out? They're on the grid right now. Nothing's happened. Mm-hmm. He did like hit the wall, but I mean, Max also hit the wall, like, and I just find it so hard to believe that Oscar was that out of, like, Oscar, who is consistent. Zach called him a robot in Drive to Survive. Like, Oscar is consistent. He doesn't let those things get to him. So I find it really hard to believe that he was just so in his own head, he drove straight into the fucking wall. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
That's not what happened. So what we know happened is he
fucking
spun.
Demon lights.
And Penny's in there, so she rubbing off. We know that he spun from rear wheel spin, right? We know that. Whether that was because these cars generate a lot more torque than he's used to and he made a mistake, or there was some kind of weird issue where it deployed extra power to the rear wheels and it was a mechanical mistake, right? We don't know. I doubt we'll ever know unless Mercedes or McLaren tells us. Max's was a little different because Max's was the rear axle, which does all the regeneration for the kinetic regeneration, the MGUK. It seized completely. So that was a little different situation than Oscar's. Oscar's could have been his fault. Max's was not. It was a complete mechanical failure. But yeah, that happened. What is it? I feel like we're missing some storylines. Mercedes
McLaren
obviously.
had other power issues over the weekend. Like Lando didn't race in FP1. Um,
Oh, I
I
remember.
truly believe that it was a car issue and not an Oscar issue.
I remember what I was gonna say is what's really depressing is those mechanicals, like the mechanical failures, can affect championships. Like people have lost championships because of mechanical failures. In 2016, a lot of people say that Lewis wouldn't have lost to Nico if he didn't have a specific mechanical failure at Turkey, if I remember correctly, but I don't know that for sure.
A
It's
lot
like
of people are going to come on here and say you're a fucking idiot and it was actually XYZ race.
no, because nobody watches the long form version of my content. I haven't figured out long form yet, so no, I'm not really worried about that happening. We had 4 listens on Spotify last week, so I
I
think
was gonna say, isn't like Lady Livery our like only consistent viewer and they don't even watch F1?
yeah, King Nothing listens. He likes the podcast side, but yeah, I mean that's we can name our viewers if that tells you anything. Send it to one of my coworkers.
That's how much you guys mean to us.
Yeah, yeah. I'm used to a little bit different numbers with my short form content, but that's the short form content's a lot easier than long form. Long term, I don't have any fucking idea. Well, that's
Um,
cool. Anything else we want to cover this week?
the Mercedes apparently didn't, their batteries were dead at the start of the race
I
when
didn't
they
hear that,
stopped.
but I believe you.
Yeah, that's what George said. When they stopped in their grid boxes, both Kimmy and his battery were completely dead.
Was bad. I
Their
mean, we know
batteries
Ferrari has a good start.
were at
I
zero.
think I know that I know the story of the season is Mercedes dominance, and I do not want to be this guy because I've never been this guy before. I really genuinely in my heart believe that this is Ferrari's year. They're competitive with Mercedes already. They're bringing the
You've been a
rotisserie
Ferrari
wing.
fan for 2 seasons and you're already so
In
delusional.
in my heart of hearts, I think this is their year. They are bringing the rotisserie wing to China, and Mercedes has to change their engine. What the fuck is going on with your lights? Mercedes
I
has to
think my
change.
lights are disagreeing with you. That's the universe saying you're wrong.
Mercedes has to change their power unit. I think June 1st was when they're gonna measure hot and cold. I don't remember that exactly. But I genuinely believe this is Ferrari's year. And before the season, I would have said that would mean that it's Charles Leclerc's year, hands down. Because I don't as a huge Lewis fan, Lewis doesn't have it anymore. I don't know though. He was looking pretty fucking. He was looking pretty fucking racy this weekend. He qualified well. He was within a second by the end. Like I think that
He did. He closed the gap really close, like
yeah,
faster than I was expecting him to.
it might be a Lewis year. And I have said this before. I will maintain if Lewis gets his 8th championship, I will get a Lewis Hamilton tattoo. I don't know what it'll be or where it'll be or what it'll look like. It'll be very small. I don't want his face on me or anything. But cool. Well, let's do a quick look ahead for next week, or this week, because this comes out on Tuesday. So China this week, it is a sprint weekend, which I was trying to explain this to I have an old coworker that's getting into F1 this year, specifically to watch Cadillac, and I tried to warn him. Oh, we didn't even cover how Cadillac did in Australia. Not well. Moving on.
You are leading this. You have to. Let's talk about Cadillac. Let's talk about Cadillac and Liam Lawson fighting for fucking 16th place because of their vendetta they have
because it's
against each
Checo.
other.
Yeah, because it's Checo. They lost a left mirror from
What
one
did I
car.
say?
You just said Cadillac in general. They
Oh.
lost a left mirror from one car and a right mirror from another car. The Valtteri they qualified 4 seconds off the pace, if I remember correctly, 4.2
It
or
was
something
not
like that.
good. Yeah, like it was down with Aston Martin and
Yeah,
the cars that didn't even get to qualify.
which 4 seconds is insane. Like that is a insane gap. I don't think I've ever seen a gap like that in my time in F1. Even back in 2014 when there was a no cost cap. Like I don't think 4 seconds was happening.
I was
But
gonna say your iRacing time is probably a 4 second gap.
I actually do typically sit around 4 to 5 seconds behind everybody else. That is true. That is actually accurate. And those are longer laps too. So, but anyway, they qualified not great. Valtteri didn't finish for some mechanical issue. I don't know if we ever really found out what it was. And Checo was what 16th or something like that at the end of it. I mean,
Yeah.
way out of the points, right? And for their first race weekend, not bad. It's about what I
It
think
could
we
have been
all.
worse, yeah.
Yeah, I think we all kind of expected that. But my friend got into F1 specifically to support Cadillac, and I tried because it's an American team, and I tried to tell him like there is an American team on the grid. They're already doing better. You should support them instead because Cadillac's going to have a tough time in their first year. No. I'm a big Cadillac fan, and this was the first race he ever watched. He's never watched a race of any kind for anything, and I warned him again going in. I was like, it'll be a great race for them if both cars finish, no matter where they finish. And he was like, come on, don't be a fucking wuss. And then he texted me the next morning. And he was like, that's really what I could expect all season is like, fighting for dead last. And I go, unfortunately, yeah, that's probably exactly what it'll take years to build that program. Like I know, and that's normal.
Story.
But that's not it's just not realistic. It will take years to build up their F1 program, and that's normal. That happens. That's not a bad thing. That's not any slight to Cadillac. I will say they're pretty aggressively mid in endurance racing. They're not like a power in endurance racing. They're there, but
they did pick the most aggressively mid F1 driver lineup too. So
I think they did a great job.
They're sticking with tradition.
I agree with their driver choice. I don't like it because it's kind of boring, but I agree with their driver choice.
I'm a big Checo hater, so.
Yeah, because he cheated on his wife.
In a Checo versus Liam Lawson off, I would pick Checo over Liam.
Oh, I didn't know you hate Liam that much.
Yeah, I do hate Liam that much.
It's unfortunate. Okay, anything else we didn't cover from Australia? Alpine, pretty average. Haas, the battle for P5 I think is going to be Alpine, Haas, maybe Williams if they can get their shit together. Because that's always the bit. You have your top four. For a while, it was the top three. Now you have a top four team. So we know the top four. It's gonna be one of those four, and we know that 1 through 8 is usually gonna be those 8 drivers. But P5 is that's the start of the midfield battle now. It used to be P4, and then it's 5 kind of all the way down last year. They were all. No, that's not true because I think some teams ended with 10 points or whatever.
Yeah, I think Alpine was the lowest because we checked when we were watching Drive to Survive. Alpine was the lowest because Franco brought him no points.
So now it's 5th and 6th are kind of a battle, and then 7, 8, 9, 10. I know, who knows.
It's kind of crazy seeing McLaren and Red Bull still fighting, but they're fighting for 4th now instead of.
Wasn't that hilarious? 2. Yeah, and it's funny too because everybody was they didn't even show this part of the broadcast where it's Max chasing Lando. It's well, yeah, because no one cares.
I know. I was really upset that Arvid didn't get driver of the day because I was what the fuck? That was a genuinely good drive. He did so well. He was fighting Max. He was doing fucking awesome. And then I saw that Max went from 20th to 6th, and I was you know what? Max did deserve driver of the day. That is a fucking pro gamer move for Max.
Max is still Max. He doesn't. There's no way he's in the title fight this year. We said that last year, to be fair. But there's no way he's in the title fight this year. They just don't have the car.
No, I think I said that Max is getting a world champion this year. I think that was my prediction. I think I predicted Mercedes, constructors, and Max driver.
Fucking George Russell's gonna kill him. I think we covered everything else. Yeah, Alpine pretty mid. Sauber got a point, which was exciting. Or Audi got a point, which was exciting. Cadillac did terrible. Aston Martin did real fucking terrible. They just threw their cars out for fun. Their cars would go out and they would go back in for 5-10 laps. All right, try it. It's literally when I'm trying to fix a technological issue on my sim setup where I'm all right, let me load back in to the thing and see if it didn't work. All right, let me play with the settings some more. That's what Aston Martin was doing this weekend. They were just playing with settings. They weren't even data gathering. I would give you data gathering if they ran a lot of laps. They weren't even doing that. They just were, all right, try it now. And then it didn't work. They brought his ass back in. So that's probably a good summation of this week. Anything I miss?
Next week's China.
Start of China.
F1 Academy season.
And a sprint race. And I tried to explain sprint race weekends to my friend that's new into racing, and I gave up. I just was there's 2 races. Watch at least one.
The way I explained it to my dad was that the sprint race. Yeah, Daddy Lovesuck is that the sprint race is just a scrimmage.
No, because scrimmages aren't for points, and sprint races are for points.
But it's like a practice. Like it's a practice for the race.
No, I'm not gonna give you that one because there's points on the
Okay.
line. So it's not just practice; it's part of the championship. I don't know.
But no, you're not getting real racing in a sprint race because no one wants to fuck up their car before qualifying.
Yeah, I mean that happens. I don't know why they make the sprint qualification system so fucking difficult for them. I've been saying for years, just go to what F2 and F3 do, which is you do one qualifying, you do inverse grid for the top 10 or the top 12, however many you want to do it now, for sprint, and you do regular grid for feature. Just do that. It's so much better. It makes so much more sense. There's one qualifying to watch. Everybody would love it. There's
Yeah,
no
we don't
reason.
watch sprint shootout, or I don't at least. I don't care to watch sprint shootout.
I do, but I'm always kind of mad that I do.
Yeah,
Disappointed.
I don't know the last time I watched a sprint shootout. It just doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. So China.
It's kind of more fun to turn on the sprint race and be like, oh wow, so and so starting there. I didn't know that.
So China has Ferrari bringing the barbecue wing. We're gonna see how that works. Their version 1 of it. The rotating.
What that means is that it's gonna drop them down to like P7 and 8, and Ferrari's gonna keep the fucking wing on because they're so
they
dumb.
were going to have a chance to win this race, and now they're not.
Yeah, and they're gonna keep it on until Montreal when they do a new upgrades package.
And then F1 Academy is starting back up. I was looking through the F1 Academy grid. I don't know. They're only allowed to do 2 years in F1 Academy before they have to move on, which is good. I think it's a good rule. I like it. It makes sense. But it means that this is kind of this is the 3rd year of F1 Academy, right? So this is the 4th year of F1 Academy because it's Marta Garcia, Abby Poling, Dorian Penn.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the 4th
There
year.
have been 3 years. This is the 4th year.
Yeah, but even still, like all the people that I know have aged out, and it seems like that was the first couple crops of F1 Academy drivers was like the well-known female drivers that exist in the world, which are not many, but there were some. And now it seems like they're getting into like pulling, they're recruiting people to show them off, which is the whole point of the series. So I'm excited to see that. I don't know any of these drivers. I know Nina Gademan, my home skillet biscuit. She's still in it. This is her second
I feel
year.
like it's kind of annoying that, and I don't know how they pick wildcard drivers, but like the wildcard driver for China was the wildcard driver for China last year, and I feel like there's got to be a bigger pool, and it's kind of annoying that they're picking the same, like.
Do you know why she's the wildcard driver?
Because she's from China?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other Chinese drivers.
I don't know how many female Chinese they don't have the same equality feelings that we do over here. I don't
Well,
know
like, how are they picking the wildcard drivers? Because, like, you would think that there's, like, is it truly money? I mean, like, everything in FIA, it probably is money, but.
I'm not saying there's no female Chinese drivers that exist that are qualified to do this. Pickings are probably slim, right? And pickings are probably slim of all the countries. Because, like, when they went to Jeddah, they found some random Middle Eastern person. And, like, I don't think there's that many options for female drivers at this level. And then Shiwei, or whatever her name is, I think it's Shiwei, not Shiwi. That's a very different thing. Shiwei didn't make the start. Her first race. I felt so bad for her. So yeah, that's a good place to end this. I think it's a good episode. We got past your period, which is exciting. We had to get through that.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, you were pissing me off in the start of this recording, but as always, I enjoyed doing it with you. For those that are watching,
you weren't all sunshine and daisies either, buddy.
I am a delight. For those watching or listening, thank you so much for taking part in this. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow, whatever all
Ring the
the
bell.
whatever the various buttons are that you can do. It really genuinely does help the video. And nobody else is commenting, so we'll make sure to answer. If you leave a question, we can answer.
We'll name drop you next time because we know all of our viewers by name.
That's what we can do. If you got to the end of the video, leave a question for us to answer next episode, and we will.
Yep, an overshare question since I didn't do one.
We didn't do any. There was no oversharing except for my bubble guts and your period. We actually overshared a substantial amount. We talked about your uterus at length, so there was oversharing and there was oversteering in this podcast, which is.
No one's gonna listen to this. Men go when they hear the word period. No one's gonna listen to our podcast anymore.
My brother, who is 9 years older than me, one time I was visiting him back when we talked to him. We don't really talk to him anymore. I was visiting him, and I don't remember how it came up, but wife like asked his wife for a feminine hygiene product or something. I don't remember what it was. And
I said I had period acne. When you're a woman
that's what it was.
and
Yeah.
you get your period, you have hormonal shifts, and women break out on their period.
And
And I
he's 9 years older than me. So at this time I was probably 24, 25. So he's in his 30s. And he was like, ugh. And then he looked at me and goes, "You let her talk about her period like that?" I'm like, what?
You were like, first of all, you think I can tell her not to talk about anything she doesn't want to talk about? You think I can tell her what to do?
Yeah. I don't even know how we got off this, but yeah, that's the Oversteer and the Overshare part of the podcast. Thanks for watching. And I've just decided we're gonna do these on Tuesdays. So you can expect uploads every Tuesday through the season.
Does that mean we have to record on Tuesdays, or
we can record on Sunday? We can record on Monday.
Okay.
It's basically Sunday or Tuesday though.
Okay.
It's already fucking 8:00 though, so I prefer not to keep doing it this late. Which was my fault. I was watching The Punisher. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and listening and whatever else. Like I said, leave a comment with a question you'd like us to answer next time. It can be on the Oversteer side, racing, or it can be on the Overshare side, which is personal. Just let us know. Wife, you want to play us out?
Wow.
All right, bye, guys.